Hi, my name is Emma and I work for the SNDS service in Wigan and Leigh. This video provides an overview of what you should consider before filling in the Disability Living Allowance form, how long awards can last for, and what to do if you're unhappy with the Department for Work and Pensions decision. Many people refer to Disability Living Allowance as DLA for short. Likewise, the Department for Work and Pensions can be referred to DWP. So what is DLA? DLA is a tax-free benefit for children who have additional needs and disabilities. The rate a person is awarded will be dependent on their needs. A common myth is that children must have a diagnosis when applying for DLA. This is untrue. However, the child must require more support than someone else of their age who does not have additional needs or a disability. Also, they must have needed this support for at least 3 months and expected to need it for at least 6 months. However, if your child does have a diagnosis, the diagnosis letter isn't enough to prove that your child needs additional support. Therefore, filling in the form with as much detail as possible is crucial. DLA forms can be printed off from the government website, or they can be requested through the DLA helpline on 0800 121 4600. However, if you have a claim pack in front of you, you may be thinking, how can it be so long? The form is around 40 pages, so there's no doubt the length of the form can be overwhelming. It may be tempting to go through the form very quickly in one sitting. However, it can be helpful to take your time when filling in the form. The person who will make the decision will never meet your child, so it's critical to include as much information on your child's needs as possible. It can be helpful to keep a diary on how often and how long your child needs support for. This can help with answering some of the questions and can be sent off with the application form. Don't just rely on the tick boxes available on the form. Try to provide a detailed explanation on your child's needs in the bigger text boxes available. If there's not enough space, remember you can add an additional information on another sheet. Just remember to write down the child's name and date of birth, just in case they become separated from the form. Do not worry about going outside of the boxes. The DWP must take all answers into account, even if they do not expect it to be on a certain section of the page. It can also be helpful to keep a photocopy of the completed DLA form. It could also support in making future claims to assess how your child's needs may have changed or stayed the same. Remember to reward yourself after filling in the form. The form is long and can be emotionally draining. When sending off the DLA form, it's important to include any supporting documents you may have with the form. Documents which describe your child's needs and support requirements are helpful. Documents such as medical reports, speech and language assessments, psychological reports, education, health and care plans, individual education plans can really be helpful. When sending supporting documents off to the DWP, it's important that you only send copies of these documents, as the DWP will not return any of the documents back to you. So how long can DLA be awarded for? DLA awards are sometimes made for an indefinite period, but they are usually made for a fixed period, for example 3 years. Towards the end of this time, the DWP will normally write to you inviting you to reapply for DLA and send you a new claim form to complete. When completing the renewal form, it's again important to include any more supporting documents you may have. You can appeal against the decision the DWP has made if you've been told that your child is not eligible for DLA or you've been given a lower rate than you expected. The first step would be to request a mandatory reconsideration by the DWP. You can do this over the phone, by letter, or completing the CRM-R1 form. It can sometimes be helpful to write down all the points as to why you disagree with their decision before requesting the mandatory reconsideration. You need to make sure that the DWP gets your request within 1 month of the decision letter. So what happens if you requested a mandatory reconsideration and the DWP did not change their decision when you asked for it? You can appeal to an independent panel called a tribunal. The tribunal is independent and is not part of the DWP. The tribunal will look at your evidence and hear what you have to say, then they will make a decision. Thank you so much for watching this presentation.